Hello everyone, welcome back to Dungeons & Dragons. We're playing Dungeons & Dragons. Woo!
Whoa.
Alright, so the last time that we were here, you guys had been to a place and talked to a person, which was all very exciting, and you got your fortunes read. And that was pretty cool. That was pretty
Yeah,
neat and fun.
it was weirdly.
Weirdly applicable, I'll say, for things that no one else knows yet except us.
Yeah,
But it was, rest assured, it was a call-out post.
it's part of our backstory.
Yeah, it was surprisingly a painfully accurate process. It usually is. So yeah, now that that's happened, you guys are gonna walk to the village of Barovia. Yes, that's what we're doing?
Yeah, we're gonna walk to the village of Barovia.
You're gonna walk to the village of Barovia. Alright. You walk, you start down this path, as you walk, you hear in the distance again that same weird kind of garbled howling noise. Kind of echoing through the forest deeper in the mist. And you actually hear it repeated several times now, as if there are multiple of the creature making this noise this time.
You know, Pruitt says. It might have done us well to ask about that. You may not be wrong, Oxford says. But hopefully it won't be relevant. Yeah, when did that sound ever relevant?
Yes, and I go look up the stat block.
Help?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
I am sure that you just need to see their charisma score to tell how good friends we're gonna be.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Hell,
You guys are gonna be great friends. I promise.
good doggy.
Like that you assume it's a dog.
It's howling.
I guess that's fair, it is howling. Somewhere between a dog and a bear. What would you like to do about that? If anything.
Making our way downtown. Walking faster.
Right, you're gonna keep walking, which is awesome. And the sound fades. It seems as if these creatures have kind of passed you by. And then you hear... Actually, I'd like you to roll perception for me. You don't hear anything unless you do. Deaf until proven not deaf.
Alright, that is a 20 on the first roll.
From whom?
Pruitt.
Okay, that's fine. So Pruitt, as you all are walking, you hear kind of a little further down the path, there's kind of a curve here, a bend in the path, so that you can't really see where this is coming from. You hear the sound of someone muttering to themselves. Kind of frustrated muttering, as they appear to be walking in the same direction that you are from the sound of their footsteps. You can't really make out what they're saying, just that there's someone talking. You would assume to themselves. Someone talking in a low voice, just around this curve from you.
How far off from us?
A few hundred feet, maybe. But around this curve. So you can't quite see them. There's kind of a little... You can, if you squint, you can kind of make them out through, like, the tree line.
Yeah, can we hide?
Can you hide? Yeah, you can try. Yeah, go ahead. Roll me group stealth.
Alright. It's gonna be 15.
Alright.
17.
Okay.
8.
Alright. Less good.
16.
Yes.
14.
Alright.
And 24.
Okay, yeah. So you, as this person is kind of talking, muttering, they're going vaguely the same direction as you, but you're clearly moving faster than them because you
Okay.
caught up to them. So I think you all kind of take just a little bit into the tree line, right, kind of at the border of where the mist becomes too thick to see through. And you kind of sneak through this tree line, kind of taking a shortcut to get closer to them without them seeing you. And when you kind of get a little closer to the point where you can see them pretty clearly through the trees, you see this kind of older man, maybe in his late 40s, you could guess, uh, who is limping slightly, kind of using a longsword as a kind of like a crutch or a cane to prop himself up a little bit, a sheathed longsword, presumably so he doesn't damage the blade. He is kind of limping down this path, which at this point you would assume is how you caught up to him. And he kind of is hissing under his breath as he walks, and he puts something in his pocket just as you come approach him.
Can we hear what he's saying at all better now?
He's no longer talking.
Okay.
It seems like he stopped and is now just kind of like muttering in pain. Whatever he was clearly talking before, now he's just kind of like, he's clearly injured himself somehow, his leg, you would imagine. And he seems to be expressing pain as he walks.
Interesting. I think we all kind of look at each other for a moment.
And is there anything you would like to do?
We kind of give these kind of silent, unsure looks at each other. But yeah, Pruitt will actually kind of put a hand up to everyone else and step forward. He has a hand on his sword, but not drawn.
Yes.
Steps forward. And mate, you alright?
You see the man jump visibly, and kind of as he turns to you, you see him wince on his as his bad leg moves. You're we don't see many travelers on this path at this time of night.
Yeah, I don't figure you do.
Really, ever.
Your leg alright?
Fine, yes, just need to get back home.
Where's home?
Barovia.
Headed the same way as you are.
Are you alone? People like you usually aren't.
Can I give insight to trust this person?
Yeah, for sure.
21.
He seems trustworthy, and he seems genuinely injured. You can actually see, he's not playing that up to be deceptive. You can see he actually has, like, blood on the, like, calf part of his pants.
There are 6 of us, actually.
6. That's about right.
And I'll kind of motion the others to come forward. At this point, Ruby kind of approaches. Your leg, do you? I can...
I'll be fine. Thank you for the offer, but don't waste your time and magic on me.
Of course.
I just need to get home. You all are going to Barovia, the village.
Yeah, we are.
Well, if you don't mind walking a little slower than pace, I can lead you. Not that it's not a straight shot, really. This path only goes so far.
Well, I hate to see you get hurt out here, so...
You heard the wolves.
I did, yes.
Well, we had better keep moving before they come any closer. That's not a fight I want to pick when I'm injured.
So, what did happen to you, Oxford says?
Got in a bit of an unsavory situation. Tried to leave the situation, got hurt on my way out.
That's fair, I suppose.
If you really want to see, I'll show you.
The injury, or?
Yes.
I don't want to pry, but...
He pulls up just kind of barely the, leg of his pants. And you see, this is a significantly worse injury than you realized, is the first thing you note. It seems like the looseness of his pants has been covering, and kind of the boots and long socks that he's wearing have absorbed what is probably a great deal of blood. Because this looks like there's a... You don't need to know much about medicine to assume that he got his leg caught in some kind of, serious, hunting trap.
Oh.
And it is badly scraped, deep gashes on his leg, and it looks like there was a struggle to get it out of the trap.
At this, Terry visibly recoils.
Yeah.
Oh, Are you sure you don't want
Had worse.
any help?
Lived through worse. I'll be fine. I'd rather just keep going. If the wolves catch up, I will be a liability. So we need to keep going before they do.
Alright. And we'll keep going.
You keep walking. You walk, another maybe couple of miles, and when you were at the camp, they told you that it was not more than a few miles from where they were. So you walk another couple miles, you don't hear the wolves again, you don't hear the howling. And you kind of come to, this crest of a hill. You start to go down, and you see this kind of vaguely fortified wall surrounding what seems probably like where you're going. This small... It is still dark, this small kind of dismal village. And the chain fence around it, with, some wood paneling in some places, seems largely there more for show than for any real defense.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like it would really do much. It's not a fully fortified city wall by any means. From where you are, you can see the steeple of what looks like a small church. And up on a hill, you slope down, and then this town kind of slopes back up, and you can see up on the far hill, a house that is much bigger than the others. Much bigger, maybe the wrong word. Bigger, notably, than all the others. You could make the inference that it's where whoever runs this town lives.
Okay.
And those are the distinct features of this town that you notice. Everything else is just kind of nondescript houses and maybe a couple of stores.
So, if we were looking for a person in charge, where would you recommend we go?
I'd recommend you go to my house.
Oh.
If that's what you're looking for. So you're very surprised by this.
Collectively, we're like, oh, okay.
Well, that's easy enough.
Yeah. This is where we were appointed as out-of-town adventurers.
Understandable. You came from Serpul.
Yes.
She does tend to point people in my direction. I suppose I can't blame her. I'm the easiest to find. There are few who bother to, oppose our Dreadlord, and fewer still who don't keep moving to avoid capture.
Well, I mean, I want to get out of here, so as far as I'm concerned.
You should come with me. You should meet my daughter. She is, I wish she weren't, but she is a major player in these affairs.
A major player?
I suppose I can tell you while we walk. He kind of sighs, winces again. He's kind of trying to put less weight on the leg, even than he was before. He kind of adjusts, how he's positioning his sword, sighs. The Dreadlord. Few dare say his name, some say it brings him to you. I've always thought that was a bit stupid. He'll come whether you say his name or not. Strahd. Strahd von Zarevich. It's his name. And so the story goes, several hundred years ago, he and his brother and his family ruled over this land before it was trapped, before we were stuck. And the legend says, from what I can tell, it picks true, the brother had a woman in his life who Strahd greatly desired. And the brother, Sergei, and this woman, Tatiana, they were engaged. They were to be wed. And between his jealousy over this woman and his distaste for his brother's political and social practice, he decided he could not let it stand. He made a deal with the powers that have trapped us here, the Dark Powers, and he offered them his service in exchange for the ability to do whatever he wanted with this whole situation. To kill his brother, to claim Tatiana, to claim the realm. And on the day of their wedding, so it is said, he killed his brother. And in doing so, pledged his service and his land to the powers, and trapped us here.
Wow.
There's one more piece to this story. We are trapped here. No one can leave, obviously. You have been told as much. By me and others. The real, more pressing issue than that is that once you die, you still can't leave. Souls that are left behind, separated from their bodies in this world, they do not move on. The souls of every adventurer who has come before you, they are trapped here. The souls of every citizen, civilian who has ever died, they are trapped here. And they cycle. And because of the number of births, many people here are born without souls entirely. Those who are born with them are born with the souls of someone before them.
How can someone exist without a soul?
I'm not entirely certain myself. They are more creations of the realm than anything, I think. Almost like husks, shadows of people. They don't really emote in the way that someone with a soul would. The rumor has it that if you have a baby and they do not cry, they are soulless. And you can tell pretty early if your child is born without a soul. And there's nothing really to be done. You just have to deal with it. But that is where it goes back to the beginning. Strahd does not die. He is immortal unless killed, and that is obviously proved very difficult. But no one else leaves, and like I said, these souls recycle, and that started with his brother and his brother's bride-to-be. He wanted her, and he wanted his brother to suffer, so his brother reincarnates in eternal agony, and she reincarnates in the same form that he always desired.
And that, Oxford says, is where I assume your daughter comes into this?
Correct. She is her reincarnation. Her latest iteration. And he seeks her, and he seeks her aggressively.
I see.
She does not fear him, though perhaps she should. And she has been stubborn and braver than I could ever have expected, but I can tell that it is wearing on her to be trapped here with nothing to do, no chance to flee. And she knows he will claim her eventually, whether she likes it or not.
So, he just claims her forever, or?
No, not quite. The first time, after his brother was killed, after he killed his brother, there's no reason to use the passive voice. She killed herself. She threw herself off the tower in grief. And it has become practice, I believe, if he ever comes too close again, that they will do the same. But she is different, she is stubborn, and she has convinced herself she will find another answer. Anything is, in her mind. She has three options. She can succumb to his will, she can kill herself, or she can find another answer. And she says she'd rather bend than break and kill herself first.
If she does bend his will, what happens then?
I think he dooms us all for good. She has her heart set on finding another answer. She refuses to bend, she refuses to break. So I guess she'll keep going. And perhaps that is where you all come in.
Stubborn.
Extraordinarily so. More than anyone I've ever met. I have learned to live with it, whether I am afraid of it or not, and trust me when I say that I am afraid of it.
Well, however we can help, Oxford says. This is mutually beneficial. I have places I need to be.
I imagine you all do. And if you were willing to take her, I imagine she would gladly go with you.
Is that what you want?
I don't know if she has very long left in this life, in this world, and I would like her to at least feel like she's doing something good with it. So, if she chooses to go with you, if you choose to take her, I will be more than grateful, and I will do what I can in return.
Let's talk to her.
I think that is wise. And is at this point that you he unlocks the gates for you, the chain fence, and leads you across town, and as you walk up past kind of the gateway to his home proper, you see like a salt line over the archway. He kind of points to it. It doesn't work, but it was worth a shot. Nothing works.
I may have tried the same thing.
No point in that, but it was worth a shot.
Pruitt kind of smirks a little bit. I've heard good things about running water. Do you want to install a water feature?
If I thought that would be enough, I would have done it by now. He can fly. Makes it a little harder.
Yes.
That said, you should meet her. I imagine she's probably up. She doesn't sleep much lately.
And yeah, we'll enter his house.
As you enter, you do in fact see who you would assume is his daughter, this young woman. She has this bright, vibrant red hair, brighter than natural almost. These kind of vivid green eyes, and she immediately looks up as all of you walk in. And she kind of pushes her chair back and stands, maybe a little overexcited for what you would expect from someone in her situation.
Yeah.
And she kind of moves past all of you, seems to basically ignore you, and runs to hug her father. I am back. You need not worry. I missed you. Did he return? Not this time. Good. You may have noticed we have guests. I have noticed, yes. Hello.
Hello. We just were new to this, so we wanted to help, and we ran into your father on the road.
Oh, you aren't the first to come through wanting to help. Maybe this time he'll let you take me with you. I did say that. Did you? So you've finally changed your mind, then? Irina. I have been telling you I want to leave and try for more than half a decade. And you started telling me that when you were 15, and that was too young. And you waited too long. Regardless of that, you may as well introduce yourself. Irina. Irina Kolyana. This is my father, as you may have guessed. My brother is upstairs asleep, I would imagine.
Actually, did we catch your name? I say that.
Kolyan Indirovich.
I guess that's how your naming structure works.
Yes.
Pruitt, Darkstar.
Pleasure.
Oxford, Ashstrider. Pride.
Hmm.
You may call me Ruby Weaver.
Okay.
Terry Costello. Zerl Sage Whisper. It's a pleasure.
Well, if he's letting me go with you, I suppose I may as well get acquainted with you all. Did he tell you the story, or do I have to tell it myself?
The, reincarnation thing?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
we know
good.
that.
Good. I hate telling that story.
You want to come with us?
Yes, of course.
Do you know how to fight?
Well enough. What?
I'm just curious if you know how to fight.
Well enough, like I
Alright.
said. I can take my brother's crossbow. Bold of you to assume that your brother will let you borrow his crossbow. He doesn't need it if I'm leaving. What will he be fighting against? We still have the wolves. And you can deal with the wolves. His crossbow isn't even silvered. Fair enough.
So, you're a good shot, then?
Good enough for this.
Fair enough.
She doesn't have the practice she'd like you to think she does. Well, I have to start somewhere. If you'd let me out of the house, maybe I would have more practice. I'm not going to be a liability if that's what you're concerned about.
No, not what I'm concerned about.
Good.
Just really wondering what all of your skill sets are.
We fight, it's what we do. It's what we've always done. Not much else to be done.
Beyond you, I'm more curious. I actually haven't asked these people what they do in order to see them in a fight. Well, put your money where your mouth is. What do you do, Pruitt? I am a sword. I know how to use a sword, and that's basically the extent of my skill, but I'm alright with that.
No harm and no shame in that. That's what I have always done.
I am a wizard, Oxford says. I specialize in less traditional combat, more mind games, but I can cast a damage spell if I need to.
Sort of the enchantment type, are you?
Yes, you could say that.
I see. Haven't had much magic around here.
I kill monsters and demons, Fred says.
You'll find plenty of that here.
And my own blood fuels my abilities.
Kind of cool. I want to learn how to do that.
It is a complicated and often deadly ritual called the Hunter's Bane.
Yeah, that sounds even cooler. I bet I could do it.
I could run you through it, probably.
We will perhaps see about that at a later time.
I am a cleric. I have healing, but also damaging magic, Ruby says. Oh, cleric to what god? That is not relevant to this discussion. It kind of seems like it might be. Uh, it's not one that you may have heard. Try me. Or, so, what is it the rest of you do? Are Arena and Kolyon looking at her?
A little, yeah.
Notably, she has the same color hair as Arena. I just
Yeah.
noticed.
Very similar.
Yeah. Maybe slightly darker, but yeah.
Yeah.
No, seriously, who are you cleric to? Uh,
Is there a reason you don't want to tell us?
I am provided with my magic by multiple deities.
None of whom we'd like to hear about?
That would be correct, yes.
Okay.
I really would like to. Asmodeus and Lulth.
Well, I guess that answers that question.
So I'm a sorcerer.
Gotta break the tension somehow.
I am a fairly new apprentice, but I feel like I have a handle on things. I have a little bit of healing ability as well, from just managing to pick it up. I am a rogue, Zerl says. The sneaking type. Less the backstabby type, more the, um, explorer, the treasure hunter type.
That's pretty cool. My brother makes too much noise. He could learn to take a lesson from you.
And, are all of us human? I'm a high elf. I am a Kalishtar, Zerl says. I am an Aasimar, Pride.
I feel like I could have guessed you weren't human.
Yeah, I
Your
would be
hair's more
surprised.
white than blonde.
Yeah. But I take it you all are human?
Yeah, there aren't very many humans, or non-humans here.
Yeah. Well, most of us pass for human, Pride aside.
Convenient, I guess. We've had people come through who look a lot weirder than any of you do.
Well, we are always happy to help, and should you ever need training, I have trained people to fight before.
I will keep that in mind, but I think I can do it myself.
If you ever want to spar me, I'm throwing the challenge down.
I bet I could beat you.
Do you?
I'm not sure I would try that right now, Arena. Well, you're not me. Maybe in the morning? Ugh, fine.
Tavy says, we woke up like 3 hours ago.
It's going to be dark for a while. There's not really much point guessing when morning is.
So that just always?
Pretty much. I could only tell it was night because the moon was out.
Could I ask you a question? Ruby says to Kolyan.
Of course, yes.
There is a church.
Yes.
What is the denomination, or what's the deal there?
Lathander. Though, most people don't really attend at this point.
Not of strong faith, generally?
There's very little room for faith here when most people have entirely given up. We have a preacher, a pastor. He is about all that we have. His name is Donovich.
I see.
And that's about the extent of things. A few people go. I like to go. I feel it keeps me steady sometimes. Some rudimentary schedule is good for all of us.
Do you consider yourself a man of faith? Or just a man of schedule?
I think maybe once I would have called myself a man of faith. Now I am a man of... I don't have much faith, but I haven't given up, so... I don't feel like a man of faith really describes me anymore, just a man with faith, maybe.
Faith in yourself is often more important than faith in a god.
You say that as a cleric.
Yes, I do.
I respect that. There is no cleric without the cleric themselves, I suppose. I have long thought, what would the gods be without their followers?
Restless, probably.
Probably so. Not much to rule with not anyone following.
No. At each other's throats.
I suppose you would know more than I would about that.
Gods can be just as petty as mortals.
I would not know. If you all would like to sleep, you are welcome to, but it seems you've just woken up, so... It is probably almost early morning now.
You said you get visits from Strahd.
Correct.
We could stand sentry. Make sure nothing disturbs.
He won't come. Not during the day, regardless of how dark it is. He doesn't take the chance. Not that the sun has shined here in 500 years, but... He is cautious, and he will come when no one is expecting him.
None of you have ever seen the sun?
No. Not once.
That's
Only in pictures.
really sad. I'm sorry.
It's not like we're not used to it. It's not like we know what we're missing.
No.
Never bothered me. Like to see it, though. So, I guess that's what this is for.
Hopefully, you'll be seeing the sun in a few weeks or months or however long this takes.
Yeah, no trip usually lasts more than a few months, but I suppose if you succeed, it might take longer.
Well, I aim to succeed, so hopefully it takes... I don't want to say hopefully it takes a very long time. Hopefully it takes an amount of time.
An amount. Hopefully it doesn't take no time at all, because that would not be good for you.
We best try to get some sleep while we're all on the same schedule.
Probably wise. Nothing else. Take a nap. There's room for you in the guest room. I can stay on the couch if you'd like to borrow my room.
That hardly seems... I could take the couch. I've slept in far worse.
I won't make you, but... if you don't want to.
I don't mind. I've slept on the ground plenty of times.
You're welcome to it, then. It's not the most comfortable, but it's padded. I suppose better than the floor. I can get pillows and blankets, too, if you'd rather, build yourself a place. Any of you.
That aside, for the other 5, there's a... How many guest rooms do you have?
1, and as I said, I can lend you mine. I have other spaces to sleep. I can sleep in my study. If I really need to.
I suppose that's fair.
You're free to shower with me, Irina. What? I'm just saying, I don't care.
I could share with you, Terry says.
Yeah, see, that's fine. Sure, I suppose. So that's 4 of you settled then. Yeah. I think you should take my room, 2 of you. It's plenty big enough for that. I have work to be done anyway, and I need to go to the church to see what they can do about my leg.
I really could do that.
Rather you not waste your energy. It's fine.
She starts to cry.
Sorry,
Please let me help you.
You are very concerned. I appreciate it. I suppose if you're planning to rest and replenish your energy anyway, you may as well.
She immediately casts Cure Wounds.
He kind of sighs with relief. You see him kind of lean his head back as he just kind of revels in the feeling of not being in agonizing pain anymore.
Yeah.
He was doing a great job of not showing it, and now you can see the difference in what he is like when he doesn't show the pain. Doesn't have to not show it. He is much calmer and looks almost happy, which you haven't really seen anyone here look truly happy. So that's a refreshing change of pace. Irina's by far the person with the most energy you've seen.
I'm glad that I could help.
I appreciate your help. If I had known it was bothering you, I might have let you sooner.
It's alright.
We should rest, and in the morning we will see about getting you somewhere better off than this.
Alright.
You'll rest. You find places to settle for the night.
Yeah, I think, Pruitt, as he said, will take the couch.
Mm-hmm.
Tavri will go with Arena.
Mm-hmm.
I think probably Pride and, like, Zero will take the guest room.
Mm-hmm.
Ruby doesn't especially need sleep.
Not that we want to talk about that yet.
No.
Not that she wants to talk about that yet.
But she will kind of offer to not really need a bed.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of even take a chair in the living room where Pruitt is.
That's fair.
And then after that, so she'll basically go to Kolyon.
Mm-hmm.
And basically be. So, I suppose that I am taking your room?
Feel free. Like I said, I can sleep in my study.
I don't wish to make you uncomfortable, but there is no reason you can't sleep here.
Oh, I really don't mind. I could sleep in the church if I had to. I can sleep anywhere. Don't feel pressed. You're guessing you're doing me an incredible favor. At least let me give you some space.
Well, I'm just saying, I've had a long few years. I've slept in many a strange place.
You wouldn't will it on another.
I wouldn't be opposed to the company. I'm always interested in interesting conversation.
Won't we be sleeping?
Ideally, but it will take me a while to fall asleep.
Suppose that's fair you all aren't very tired. It has been a while since I had company my own age.
Oh, how old are you?
47. Almost 48.
54.
It has... Donovich is older, but older than me by almost 2 decades, so...
I see. It's a shame to be this old, just generally.
Pain in the ass, if you ask me. Feel like I'm already going. But maybe that's been true for a long time. Plenty of people don't live this long, so maybe I should count my blessings.
No, I understand.
You're welcome to come upstairs with me. I'll show you my room.
Of course.
And you will do that.
Indeed.
Yes. And that night, and here we go with this, all of you dream. Yes.
Hi, one question. Hi, Ruby doesn't sleep.
Does not matter.
Help!
You have a vision while you're resting.
Alright, let's hear about these dreams. What did my phone start downloading an app while I wasn't touching it? Yeah, let's find out about these dreams.
Yeah, who wants to go first? You can all volunteer yourselves for suffering.
Pruitt.
Yeah, we're just gonna go down the line.
It's not even down our line, but yeah, Pruitt.
Oh, okay. It's down mine. It's down the document. Yes, okay. So, Pruitt, you have a dream. You find yourself in a a this large, kind of expansive tavern. Uh, it is full of people. It is bustling.
Alright.
It is very busy and it is very loud. Uh, and as you find yourself, you stand in the doorway of this tavern. People kind of turn their heads to you a little as you enter, the people near you. But none of them seem to pay a ton of mind to you. You feel comfortable here. You feel like this is a place you can be without being watched.
I mean, I've spent many a night in a tavern
Yes.
like this.
And despite how crowded it is, you feel at ease knowing that you can kind of blend in and not be noticed.
Yes.
You can exist in a space without drawing too much attention, which is not something you're really keen on doing. And you, after a while, you spend some time at the bar, you spend a little bit of time drinking, and then you go up to a room. You have a set of keys in your hands, you unlock a door that you imagine is yours. And when you step into this room and close the door, your scene sort of shifts. The walls shimmer with this kind of light. You find your vision shimmering, almost like you know what a heat mirage looks like, where everything
Right.
is kind of wavy, and your vision kind of waves and fuzzes out for a second, and when you kind of blink back into, to full ocular awareness, you find yourself in a long hallway. You kind of you find this room almost stretching itself into this very very long hallway. The walls of this hallway painted the same kind of standard color as the room you were in. In fact, at the beginning of this hallway, you can see the furniture in the room that you were already in, but it stretches long, long past that. And you kind of feel yourself start to walk down this hallway, and you walk for what feels like a few minutes, several minutes maybe. And finally, you come to a door, and you find the same ring of keys that you used to open the door to your in room. Now you find yourself pulling another key and opening this door. Behind this door is a small, much smaller than the inn room you were in, which is never that big to begin with. Almost the size of. It's only a few feet by a few feet. It's. You could borderline call it a walk-in closet, the size of this room. It's a glorified closet. It's a very small space, painted entirely white, and there is a stool facing, with a person sitting on it facing opposite you. This person has this kind of dark, silvery, kind of dark silver and gray cloak wrapped around their shoulders. They don't seem to be an adult. Their frame seems too small for that of most adults you've met. You would think they're maybe a teenager. You feel fully aware of yourself in this dream, almost lucid.
Anything else like Hecla or...
The cloak is pulled over their head. You can't see any details of them. They're facing away from you.
Um... Hello?
Slowly, this figure swivels this stool around to face you. And they lower their hood very slowly, and they look up at you, confused. You see your daughter looking at you. And she just kind of tilts her head at you.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, I haven't seen her since she was small.
You
So
instinctively
I was about to ask, like,
you instinctively recognize her as your daughter, yes. She bears also, on this cloak, you realize as she turns to you, the crest of the house that you were a part of before, which is in large part why you recognize her.
I look at her. I say, I'm sorry. And I move to close the door.
To leave,
Yes.
you turn and you feel her hand grab the back of your shirt. She doesn't say anything. She just grabs onto you.
I turn back to her.
She kind of stares into your eyes. She makes this direct eye contact with you, and you kind of look at her. You see her expression is almost hollow. Like she's not all there as you look at her closer. And you see, as you kind of look at her, she opens her mouth to speak and then kind of closes it. You're not sure if she thinks better of it or if just no sound comes out. And she kind of lowers her head, drops her eye contact with you, very slowly lets go of your shirt. And do you turn to leave again?
No, I look at her quizzically and I'm like, what is it? What are you trying to say?
She kind of looks down, keeps her head down. And seems to open her mouth, close her mouth a couple more times. Just trying to find the words at this point, you realize. Like she doesn't really know what to say or even how to say it. And finally, she kind of looks up at you, meets your gaze again. They said you weren't coming back. But you're here.
I don't know what this is.
But you're here. Do you miss me?
Yes.
Then why didn't you come back?
Ask your mother.
She looks down. Again, breaks eye contact with you, kind of looks down at the floor. This stool is kind of the height of a bar stool. Her feet don't even touch the ground. While she's sitting on it. She pulls the hood back up over her head. And she kind of, her head tilts up as if she's looking up at you again, but the cowl kind of obscures her face. And she says one more thing to you, and she says, if you don't get better soon, you're not going to get better at all. And if you don't come back soon, it's going to be too late. And before you can respond, the lights start to flicker in this room. There's kind of this overhead beam of light that's been kind of shining onto her like a spotlight. And it starts to flicker, and for a moment the room goes dark, and when everything is visible again, when you can see again, the cloak that she was wearing is hanging on the wall behind where the stool was. And beneath it is the skeleton of someone who looks like they were about her size. And then you wake up.
So, Pruitt wakes up, stands up, goes outside, and is basically just going to attack a tree.
Alright. So who am I tormenting next?
Oxford.
Alright, wonderful. I love that for you. We love to see a volunteer winning. Or losing.
You say in Tennessee.
Let's everyone be nice to me, please. I don't care about sports. I don't honestly know how many people watching this channel would care about sports. The intersection of D&D nerds and football fans is not as high as you'd expect, although there is one here.
It's not two circles, but the Venn diagram is basically me.
Yeah. You're the only one in there. If there's comment, please let us know.
Yeah, go Ducks.
Yes. Hi, Oxford. You're going to have a dream, and you're going to hate it.
Good vibes only.
No.
No vibes only.
So, Oxford, you find yourself in a space not entirely unfamiliar to you. You find yourself actually in a room that you recognize, in a compound. You would assume, like one you've been in before.
Mm-hmm. Where I was employed, I assume.
Yes, where you were employed. Something similar to that. In fact, you find it is your room from your time there. Not that you spent all your time there, but a great deal of your time you spent on site, and this is that room. It looks the same as it did when you left it, and for a moment you're not sure if maybe everything you just experienced was a dream and this is you waking up. And then things start to shift a little.
I'd be hopeful, but
no,
yeah.
Unfortunately not. Things start to shift, and you hear a knock at your door.
I kind of stand up. I tilt my head, but I answer it.
Mm-hmm.
I have my staff in my hand. It's I haven't really described it. It's this long black staff, probably about goes up to the middle of Oxford's chest, with this green gem in the center, and it looks like an emerald.
Okay.
But it's actually glass.
Mm-hmm.
It's this kind of tinted green glass.
Okay. And you answer with that?
Yes.
Alright. Do you open the door first? Just you open it?
Is there a protocol here?
No. Not in particular, no.
Yeah, I'll open it first.
Okay. You open the door, and as you do, you see someone standing in front of you, who you feel like you recognize. You're not quite sure from where. You've met a lot of people in this profession. And they kind of... This young adult, maybe like 18, 19-year-old girl, her hair is kind of tied back in a ponytail. And she's wearing combat gear. She looks like she's about to go out on some kind of mission. And you meet her eyes as she stands in this doorway. And for a moment, everything in this dream shifts. Your surroundings fade, and you find yourself, instead of standing in this room, in this compound, kind of looking out into the hallway, you find yourself face to face with her at what looks like the doorway of a house. A house kind of on the outskirts of a small town. You can see forest in the distance, you can see a lake beyond that. This kind of quaint little space. And as this whole view shifts, she is still standing there in front of you. You realize your staff is not in your hand anymore. And you realize she is no longer dressed in combat gear. In fact, she is dressed in this kind of black and white plaid, almost a sundress.
Am I still dressed in my robes?
No. You find yourself dressed in what you could figure you would wear if you weren't on duty. Some sort of casual light clothing. It's a little cold. You have kind of this like cardigan draped over your shoulders, and she shivers a little as a kind of a breeze, cool breeze wafts through the air. And you find yourself kind of staring at her, and she moves to hug you.
I suppose I'll let her.
She hugs you, and you don't really get anything from that. You never really get anything from physical contact in that way. You haven't for as long as you can remember.
No.
It's never really been your love language, such as it were. But she hugs you, and she looks up at you, and instead of looking kind of blank like she did in the hallway, her eyes are full of life, and she smiles very, very wide at you. And she turns to kind of seemingly to go out and kind of walk in the grass outside of this house, almost like a backyard. Kind of wander off to look at things. She bends down as she walks, as she turns away to pick up a flower, and kind of looks back at you, tucks it behind her ear, like in her hair, and starts to walk away. And as she does this, you, for just a second, find yourself smiling in a way that you're not really used to.
Not really used to smiling at all.
Yes. And you feel just this faint, almost like a burning feeling in your chest. It's simultaneously painful and warm. And you're not quite sure how to describe it. If you weren't dreaming, and if you didn't figure you were dreaming at this point, you'd almost think you might have caught like a cold or like heartburn or something. It's this warmth in your chest that you're just not used to. And you think maybe I've gotten sick.
Yeah.
And as you feel that sensation, just as quickly as it came, it fades, and you find yourself back in this room, in this compound, looking out into this hallway. And she turns back to you. She's actually several steps away from you in this hallway. And she looks at you, and kind of very, very quietly she mutters, "I'm sorry, I don't know what I was thinking." And she walks away.
What in the fuck?
Do we need to pause for a second?
No, we're fine. What the fuck?
What? What?
Just... I'm a little speechless.
Yeah, why?
That's so weird.
Yeah. What was that all about, you wonder?
Yeah, no, that's...
Oxford's like, hey, what the fuck was that about?
No, Oxford's like... I don't know what that... I'm filing that...
You don't even know who that was.
Yeah, I'm filing that under things I'm never thinking about again.
Yeah. You don't know who that was, or where you were, or what the fuck was up with that.
I'm sure Oxford doesn't think that's relevant.
Yeah, no, that has no bearing on the future or anything at all. Who wants to go next? If we're all good there. If there's nothing else to be said about that.
Who wants to go next, indeed? Terry.
Alright, fun. So, Terry. You go to sleep. You find yourself in a town you recognize. Stepping out of a house into a town you recognize.
Okay.
In fact, the last town that you spent any significant amount of time in. You find yourself stepping out in kind of a light dress, the same kind of thing that you'd normally wear. Very, not quite a robes sort of thing. Somewhere in between a dress and a kind of a caster's robe. Which is not unusual.
No, not at all.
You find, some sort of little arcane focus-esque thing in your hand. A crystal or some sort of small wand. And it is night when you step out. And You don't really see anyone else around immediately. Um, but as you come to step out of your house proper, you see someone start to step forward from kind of an almost a side alley of this little town. And as you kind of turn to them, you see more people standing behind them. They don't look necessarily malicious. Just there's a surprising amount of people kind of following this person out
Just
into
all
this main square,
coming out of this alley?
coming from different places, but all kind of converging on this little town center at once.
Okay.
Terry, as you look at these people, you recognize all of them.
Yeah. Thought I might.
These are people that you knew, that you had relationships with, that you might have dated or married or raised children with. They might be your children. And you find yourself kind of staring out over this sea of people that you know, that you knew, that you don't know now. Some of these people have been dead for a significant period of time. Some of
Hmm.
them you haven't seen in decades.
So when you say don't know now, do you mean I
It's been a
don't
long
recognize?
time,
Okay,
yes.
but I recognize.
You recognize
I
everyone.
can say what their names are.
Yes,
Cool.
you could tell anyone their name, you could tell anyone who they were to you. But you don't know them anymore. They've been gone from your life for so long, and yet you still recognize them.
Right, of course.
And you kind of look over this crowd, and all at once they place their hands kind of over their hearts, and you see their heart area, like under their hand, kind of glow, and you feel warmth as your chest starts to glow in the same space, and you feel that area of your body kind of warm itself almost unnaturally, as if your body is responding to something they're doing. And all at once, all of these people collapse. And just as strangely as they emerged, all of them are on the ground. There is still a glow to their chests, but it starts to fade. And in fact, this light starts to move from them toward you. And you find yourself surrounded by these little glowing, kind of reddish, goldish balls of light that have kind of pulled themselves from these people's chests toward you.
Okay.
And you feel bad. You feel guilt. You feel. You know this isn't supposed to happen. And as these lights kind of surround you, they kind of swirl around you, and they start to move faster and faster. And you start to feel warm, and you realize this glow encompasses more of your body. And as these lights continue to swirl around you and kind of close in on you until it's basically all you can see, they kind of encompass your whole vision, your field of view. And you look down, try to look at your hands, they're covered in these lights. And you feel it start to burn. Your skin burns with the heat and the light that these little wisps of something are giving off. And it burns, and it starts to get unbearably hot, and you still find that you can't move. You are rooted in place, and these lights will not let you push through them. And you feel this heat start to properly burn your skin. You feel like blistering developing on your hands and on your face. And these people lay there. And you can kind of, barely through the light, make out figures, silhouettes of these people that you knew laying on the ground. and the heat envelops you. And you feel this white, hot light almost fill you from the inside out and burn inside you. And then you wake up.
Well, that was terrifying.
Yeah.
Help!
Yeah.
Alright. Scary.
Very, very scary. Who's next?
Uh...
Who wants to suffer now?
Pride.
Alright, Pride, hello. Picks you up. It is now your turn to be miserable.
A herd of lions.
So, Pride. You go to sleep, as normal. Hang on, I actually have to time out. What do you remember about time there? It's relevant, unfortunately. How much of that has been, like, wiped?
As much as they would let me.
Okay.
I
get that's my
I leave that at your discretion. Yeah.
Okay. So, Pride, you find yourself in this kind of a courtyard area. And you see several human passing trainees wearing the same garb that you remember wearing when you were training at your order. Your Blood Hunter order.
Mm-hmm.
And you are wearing the same. You kind of look down at yourself. You're wearing that same gear. And you hear from across the courtyard someone, assumedly some sort of instructor, call again. And all of the people around you, and you instinctively, start moving these training, sparring, practice movements. Sort of just a combat pattern, like you might expect. And all of you kind of move in unison, your swords moving, your weapons kind of meeting other weapons as you kind of spar in this perfect pattern. Your footwork kind of immaculately accurate as the rest of these people move alongside you. And then you hear, "Stop!" And everyone stops and lowers their weapons in sync. And you hear, "That's enough." And everyone kind of turns to move. And you find yourself turning to move. And then you feel a hand on your shoulder. And you turn around. And the instructor who you had been taking command from kind of looks down at you, very, very stern expression on his face, and he says, "Not you. You're not done."
Pride just sort of nods in recognition.
You want to be the best? That's what you told me, right?
Yes.
Alright, then keep going. And you kind of instinctively fall into that same pattern that you were just doing. And you, when you've completed the motion, you hear him call, "Again!" And you do it again. Over and over and over. For what feels like hours. It drags on. You lose track of yourself just moving over and over and over again, and he keeps calling over and over again. Again, again, again. And you feel your body exhaust itself doing this over and over. The same repetitive movement. Your mind almost kind of blanks out as you just do the same thing. It becomes muscle memory almost entirely. You lose track of how long you've been doing it. Your body aches, but you barely feel it because you're so zoned out. And finally you hear, "Stop!" And he looks at you. As you kind of come back fully to your awareness. And he kind of looks you over. You can feel now sweat all over you. Your hair is kind of sticky with it. And he kind of looks at you. You think that was good enough?
It will be.
No, it won't. No, it will never be good enough. Not like this. And you look down at your hands, and you look different. And you feel you brush your hair out of your face. And instead of it being this pure, straight white hair, it is dark and thick and coarse, and as you push it back out of your face, you realize that whatever form you have right now is not your own as you know it. Not like you remember. And you feel this person kind of shove you back. Shove against your shoulders, and you stagger backwards and try to catch yourself so you don't fall. And he looks at you. This will never be enough.
What's wrong with me?
You will never be enough like this. There's nothing else to say. You'll just have to keep trying. Forever. You want to be the best?
Yes.
You'll never be the best. You're not good enough.
What?
Say it.
What's wrong with my form? I don't.
Say it.
I'll never be good enough.
You wake up.
Jesus. Jesus. Oh my god.
That's what I end that on, yeah.
Fucking hell. Okay, so this episode needs some trigger warnings.
Yeah, it does, yeah. This one's gonna take some trigger warnings. Do we wanna, take a sec?
I think I'm fine.
That was, of all the ways to end that, I could have kept it going and I just didn't, and that was just mean. There's no more dialogue after that, there's nothing else that needs to be said. You wake up.
Fantastic.
Yeah. How are we feeling, everybody?
Suffering.
Viewers out there, how are we doing tonight?
Don't you love how these people are all fine and don't have trauma or...
Yeah, no one here has any kind of problems.
Man, it's funny that Terry has so many ex-partners and kids considering she's 18.
Yeah, what's up with that? Who knows? It's a mystery. Past lives. Something like that. It's a mystery. Who wants to go next? There's what, 2 more of you? Have we got 2 more? Okay.
Terry, a normal girl with normal knees.
Knees?
I don't know why I said knees. She has knees.
She has normal knees. Congrats on the knees.
I think the next person should be, Zero.
Okay. Works for me. So, Zero.
Yes.
You are kind of aware that as a Kalashar, you don't normally dream. And despite what I said earlier, tonight you don't really feel like you're dreaming.
Okay.
Every night, you spend time in the same space as your Kori spirit. Tonight, when you find yourself in that space, they're not there.
Alright.
In fact, there is nothing anywhere around you. This space is usually at least vaguely populated with some sort of something. There's light and sound and sensation, and in fact, as you're in this space, you feel basically deprived of all your senses. There is no one here. It is much darker than normal. There is no sound. There is no feeling of energy or sensation on your skin. What normally reads as foreign to you just feels empty. There is no foreign or new or old or normal about it. It is just empty.
Just empty.
Yeah.
Huh.
And your spirit is not here. And no one is with you. No one is around you.
She kind of calls out, "Hello?"
You hear nothing.
Do I even hear my own voice?
No. You kind of feel yourself speak, and you You hear the sound of your voice, but it almost feels like it's muffled. It's like if you spoke into a cup or a bottle. It feels like it's constrained.
Huh.
Like it's contained within something that you can't see.
Alright.
Like you're being silenced.
Um, what if I try to walk?
You try to walk?
Yeah.
You can move, but it feels like almost like walking through molasses. It's thick, and your body feels resistance on it with every step. Every movement, every swing of your arms, or even movement of your fingers, you feel heavy and weighted and slowed if you try to move.
Huh.
The more you struggle against it, the harder it seems to move of your own will.
I kind of whisper to myself, I do not panic.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
Do you say, I do not panic to yourself? Is that?
yes.
Yeah. You wait for what?
For something, anything in my environment to change.
Okay. You sit here. Uh, you're not sure how much time passes. Dreams are weird. This space has always felt weird to you. And you sit for a very long time, or what feels like a very long time. And it seems like nothing is changing. And despite your little statement to yourself, you feel this hatch in your throat. This feeling of something sticking. And you realize that you have like a lump in your throat that you are aware people only really get when they're scared. And you feel this kind of bottled in your chest, this feeling of fear. This isn't right, and you know this isn't right, and it's not supposed to be this way, and it's never been this way, and your mind starts to kind of cycle through these thoughts of, this isn't right, why is this happening, what is happening to me? Why am I stuck like this? Why isn't my spirit here? Where am I? Where are they? This kind of repetition, this spiral of negativity and fear. And you feel yourself start to breathe heavy and hyperventilate. Kind of against your will, against everything you said. And no matter how hard you try to take deep breaths and calm yourself down, this fear does not assuage itself.
This isn't right. This. Think for yourself.
I would like for you to roll a wisdom save for me.
Alright.
Which, yeah.
Sorry, I may need to pull up my modifier. My computer
I got
is dead.
I can do it, yeah.
10 on the die.
You get to roll twice here at college, so.
13 on the die.
Alright, so 17. Cool. Okay, so. You say this.
I do expend it with advantage does come because of my Quarry Spirit.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, cool.
17. You say this to yourself, and you feel this feeling start to kind of shrink back. As if you've kind of kept it at bay by this kind of repetition. You say it several times. Every time you feel like that fear starts to fade a little bit more. And when you finally feel like you've kind of tamped that down, like you've pushed it back, like you're calm again, your environment starts to shift. And everything looks normal, like it should when you're in this space. And you see your spirit kind of standing across this space from you. And they say, again, really?
Again, what?
You're gonna shut it all down again?
Shut what down?
The feelings. You're not even trying, are you?
I am perfectly in control of myself. I feel exactly what I need to feel.
You're a person now, and you have to act like it.
You don't tell me what I do.
If you keep treating this like it's gonna end, you're never gonna be happy.
Happy is irrelevant.
You know, I don't think you could never get better. I think you could do this right. You're just choosing not to. And I get it, you're stubborn. I would be too, probably. I mean, I guess I am.
Did you put me through that?
No, you put yourself through that. You don't have to believe me, but it's true. Your brain's fighting you on it. And I'm fighting you on it, and you're still not listening. That wasn't me, that whole thing. That was you. That was all you. All of that was your thing.
I am stronger than emotion.
Whatever helps you sleep at night. Not that I really like having to put up with you at night. Time to get up anyway.
Hopefully, you will have an opportunity to leave at some point.
I'd love that as much as you would. You wake up.
There's some relationship not all is well in Kalishtar land.
Nope, not all is well. Not all is well. People be having problems.
Yeah, you're a person now. Act like it.
Yeah, that's a hell of a line.
Yeah.
You're a person now. Congrats on being a person.
Anyway.
That leaves us with one.
It sure does. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Ruby.
Hi, Ruby.
Hello.
You don't normally dream. You don't
I
normally
don't
sleep.
normally sleep, no.
And in fact, you don't dream. Dream is maybe the wrong word, in the same way that it's the wrong word for Zero. But you see something, and this happens sometimes. Sometimes you see flashes of things relating to your connections.
Of course.
To your gods. Plural. Which is always fun. And in this one, you see a figure that you are familiar with. A figure that, in fact, you're more familiar with than you might like to be. Asmodeus. He is not facing you, he is turned away from you, and he is having a heated discussion with someone that you cannot quite understand. It sounds vaguely like Celestial, but it's some kind of dialect that you have not really mastered. You realize he's probably talking in the language of the gods proper. You can't see who he's talking to. But it's heated and he sounds angry, and you can hear another voice arguing back with him.
I will interrupt. Do I not dream of you enough?
All he does is hold up a hand to indicate that you need to be quiet, and then he continues talking.
Don't silence me.
You've been silenced.
Unfortunately, I am used enough to this that I wait.
This conversation continues for a few minutes, and finally he just sighs, kind of pats himself, like, in exasperation, kind of slumps down on this, basically a throne, and turns to you. Hello.
Hello? I know this isn't a proper dream because I don't sleep, so...
So what?
So what is this?
You make it seem like you think I called you here.
I do think you called me here.
But you're wrong. I didn't.
I didn't come here of my own volition.
I know. I'm not sure why you're here. But it isn't because I brought you here.
Who are you talking to?
Don't worry about it.
You seemed upset.
I am. The Pantheon exhausts me. They ask me to take part in things I want no part in.
You did choose to be a part of this pantheon.
Choose is perhaps a strong word. I was appointed.
Well, I suppose I'm here for some reason.
I can have you leave if you'd like. It isn't as if I need you here now.
I'm not even on the material plane now, not that you care, but
I'm aware. I've noticed. So is your mother.
was that either of your doing?
No. Neither of us have any claim to the Shadowfell, which is where you are. And neither of us really plan on asking, I don't think.
Wouldn't expect either of you to care, I was just...
Someone in the Shadowfell has plans for you that isn't our business. We don't get the right to interfere with that sort of thing as much as I wish we could interfere more with whatever the other gods are up to. It doesn't really matter to me. You don't want to come back anyway. And I've long since given up on changing your mind.
I'd think about it if you would answer my question without making a pact with me.
Never that simple, is it?
It's one question.
One question that I won't answer.
Without a deal.
Correct.
We didn't used to be this adversarial,
No, we didn't.
but I'm sure that's my fault in your eyes.
You assume incorrectly that I blame you for all of my problems.
No, I assume you blame me for all of my problems.
You did create them.
That's what I mean.
You don't know what I think, and you don't need to act like you do. I've been doing this quite a long time, and you have not.
Yes, you're old, I'm aware.
Correct. And with age comes experience you couldn't imagine.
I have gotten this lecture before.
Yes, you have. If that's all you want, I can send you back.
If you ever change your mind,
About what?
answering my question.
I will let you know.
Then yes, I'll go back.
Snaps his fingers and you wake up.
Seeing as the other person in this room is already gone,
Mm-hmm.
I, like, scream into a pillow.
Fair enough. And I think that with all those dreams having been had, that is as good a place as any to stop for the night.
Sweet dreams are not made of this.
Who am I to disagree?
The DM. Thank you for watching this video from College of Lore. Remember to like this video, subscribe to join the party, and have a fantastic adventure.